started. This meeting is now called. Roll call? Everybody here? And please, folks, join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Before we get started, I would like to personally commend our city clerk, Kim Barnes, for all the hard work she's done. This is a lot of work, and I didn't realize until we had a little get-together the other day, but she's done a great job, and I'm sure that the city budget is going to love the paperwork for the paperwork. But Kim, great job. Great job.
I had a lot of help.
Yeah. There's two little quick agenda changes that we came out from a meeting that we had the other day. Is that action direction 6.2 is going to be moved to the end instead of being at the beginning. And the reason for that is a lot of the things that are on that red line synopsis we're going to address before that. So that's that, and then the other one is we're going to have two public comments. The first one is going to be right before the section 6.1. It's only going to deal with that. And then the second one is going to follow that, will be for the general meeting, okay? So with those two, could I get a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll move to approve the agenda as revised.
Thank you. Second? Second. Who's that? Okay. Mr. Biggs made the motion to approve the agenda as revised. Mr. Holmes made the second. Let's vote. I can't move. Oh, there we go. All right, there we go. And that passes now. Next one, item number 4 is approval of the minutes of the June 3rd and June 13th meetings.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Second.
I have a correction I'd like to make in the June 13th meeting minutes.
Okay, go right ahead. You go first and then we'll get back.
On page 6 of the minutes, second paragraph, last line, it says, but it is an application of the council's responsibilities. I believe I said abdication.
Oh. So instead of applications,
Abdication.
probably I didn't know what that word meant. All right, with that change, can I get a motion on the minutes?
I'll still make that motion.
Okay, motion to approve both minutes as all right, so Mr. Holmes made the motion to approve both minutes as indicated, as adjusted by Mr. Taylor. Second, and Mr. Peters second. Anybody? Okay, let's vote. Okay, and passed now. All right, in our last meeting, we kind of made a little mistake there, had a little misinterpretation of our charter, and we did not allow public comment on section 35. So we're going to do public comment on section 35 only right now. If anybody's got any public comment.
You say section 35, right with it?
Section 35 was the limitation on annual budget expense. Since I don't see any public comment about that, we're just going to move right on through. Because that section 35 did pass, or was eliminated, but it did pass 6-1, so there's no reason to revisit that. Next item is public comments of a general nature on the remainder of the meeting. Mr. Williams, did you have public comments you'd like to make?
Yes, sir.
NAACP, and I just want to present a proposal, if you will, from the NAACP to this commission. It is there's a call for a hybrid form of government in the city of Fort Walton Beach, Florida. I'm going to ask Mr. Jennings, who is our first vice president and also a resident of the city, if he would join me at this the table. Mr. Chair, I do have a copy for you. My ink on my printer doesn't allow me to present a copy to each member of the board, but I would hope that you would share that with each member of the board. Mr. Jennings, would you join me at the podium? Thank you, sir. I'll be brief. I'm just going to read the executive summary, and Mr. Jennings will read our conclusion, and then the balance of this will lead to your perusal, if you will. The NAACP Oakland County branch supports governance reform in Fort Walton Beach through the adoption of a hybrid form of government, one that ensures equitable representation, sustains professional management, and reflects the city's evolving demographics and civic needs. Currently, all 7 city council members and the mayor are elected at large, meaning every voter casts ballots for each seat. While this structure promotes citywide cohesion, it fails to guarantee geographic representation, leaving neighborhoods with distinct needs without dedicated advocates. This has long-term implications for historically underserved communities, including those with significant Black, Hispanic, and lower-income populations. A hybrid model introduces a more balanced and inclusive structure. By combining district-based council seats with large positions and maintaining a strong professional city manager, this approach encourages neighborhood-specific responsiveness while preserving administrative expertise and executive leadership. Fort Walton Beach is not alone in exploring such a transition. Peer cities in Florida, including Apalachicola and Crestview, have undergone governance changes that reflect greater public demand for transparency, inclusivity, and accountability. As a result, these cities have seen improvements in civic engagement and trust in local institutions. This proposal includes comparative analysis, census-based justification, and a detailed implementation roadmap with structured phases and clear deliverables. The transition to a hybrid government can be achieved in under 2 years, bringing Fort Walton Beach into alignment with the best practices of governance and representation. By adopting this model, Fort Walton Beach can amplify underrepresented voices, increase accountability, and preserve operational efficiency. The NAACP believes this moment presents a historic opportunity to strengthen local democracy and safeguard equitable access to power. We urge city leadership to initiate a comprehensive study, engage the community, and take the steps necessary to place a charter amendment on the ballot. Mr. Jennings, would you read our conclusion? I'd like for him to read our concluding comments.
Mr. Jennings, just please state your name and your address. I know you know who you are, just for the record. For the record.
Louis Jennings, Fort Walton Beach, 605 Mooney Road. Greetings to all of you, all of you, because I can't remember all of you. So in addition to what just been presented, we urge city officials to initiate a comprehensive study, engage with residents through public forum, and take the necessary step to place a charter amendment on the ballot. This is not just an opportunity to modernize government, it is a chance to lead by example and set a precedent for the inclusion and effective local government. Together, we can build a Fort Walton Beach that truly represents the service of all its residents. Thank you.
And in the package that I provided to you, Mr. Chairman, hopefully that you will provide to others, it includes our, of course, the current governance structure that we have, our rationale for why we believe change is needed. We also included some comparative models to other cities, to include the city of Crestview, some demographic justification, and a proposed hybrid model. And we also included an implementation plan. This is not something we suggested might be done overnight. And we're going to include a detailed demographic justification with some concessional maps But we didn't get that far. We didn't start drawing maps or anything of that nature. We wanted to just, we hope that we might at least get this into the public mindset before any thoughts of maps were being drawn. But I remember City Council years ago had 7 seats. Each seat was numbered, but the numbers represented no part of the city. And even back then I was saying, why do we have numbered seats? But the numbers mean nothing to any part of the city. And today, you know, we've gotten rid of the numbered seats and we just have seats. And so, you know, it was suggested that there is perhaps an opportunity to have communities served. And let me just say that this is not, there is no way we can draw any lines that would make any part of the city be an African-American district, if you will, or a Hispanic district. That's not the purpose here. The purpose here is simply to have parts of the city that I can call on Mike Holmes, who's my representative for this part of the city, when I've got a pothole, and I can call on so just to have some sort of representation, district representation. We do think that it works, and that it would work in the city for Walton Beach. So we share that with you, and we would hope that you would support such a proposal. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Bill?
Also.
No, I'm going to speak to it. We talked about the districts in the first meeting, and it was voted down by our committee. However, I will tell you, we're just a committee, and hear me out. The people that are going to decide, number one, is the city council. And I'm going to pass this proposal of yours off to the city clerk so she can read it into the record here. And what I recommend that you all do is to go before city council, before this comes to them, and plant that in their mind. And then when it comes around, then to ask them, when they review this particular, which is section 3.6 for our meeting, that this is what you propose, your community proposes. And they're the decision makers. We're just guys up here making recommendations. So certainly, I looked through while you were speaking. I think that the kind of the feeling was when we voted for this is that we felt that the city council, when I was on city council, I represented everybody, you know, and anybody could call me anytime they wanted to. So I didn't want to get into a district kind of thing where I was representing a district because that was where I was being voted for. Now, having said that, the police chief talked to me after that meeting about a hybrid. And I think that's what you all are representing or are proposing. So I think that that's good. It's a little short for us right now today, but the city council is who you should speak to. And what I recommend is that sometime in September-ish, then what we're going to recommend will come forward. But I believe that you all should not wait until then. You can come up during public comments, or you can speak to the city clerk about maybe, or the mayor, or city councilman about putting this on the agenda for the city council. If not, you can, public comment would be perfect. You provide that to them and get them thinking about it so that when our recommendations come forward, they'll have that in mind. And I think that's the best way to go about it. They're the decision makers. We're just the guys making recommendations, okay?
That was our next step.
All right, yeah, no, that's a good thing. We should be in a couple meetings ago. It's all good. Great, thank you for coming. Thank you for your proposal, and if you'll pass that down to the city clerk, and Ms. Barnes, you make sure that part of our okay. All right, anyone else, public comment for the rest of the meeting? Nope, all right. The next section 3 is creation and composition of the council. We talked about, briefly about either 7 members or 5. And now we're hearing maybe a hybrid. And we asked the city clerk to go forward and look at what other cities are doing. And she, about a month ago, passed it all out to us. I think everybody's had a chance to review it. And we see that my count, there was only 3 cities that had 7, and many that had 5. So given that, we've all had a chance to review that. do we have a motion on changing?
But before we get into that, I'd like to make a motion to waive Robert's rules,
Okay, is there a second?
so we can have an open discussion.
Second. All in favor? Oh, there's a motion by Mr. B to suspend Robert's rules. And Mr. Smith is a second. Vote. So it looks like I'm the only one out. So go ahead, your meeting.
No. We've gone through the 2 meetings where we've gone section by section and made
Multiple motions, over 35 of them, I think. Didn't really have an opportunity to really discuss them, because, this charter review is done once every 10 to 15 years. And I think it's a very important committee. And so now that we've gotten a red line version, I think it's imperative on us to really go through these and discuss them as needed. Just with what Sabu and Mr. Jennings just proposed, we went through it pretty quickly at the first meeting and didn't have a whole lot of time to discuss them. Now we have more information in front of us. But I just, wanted to, the data shows for a city our size, 75% of them, have a makeup of 5 council members. So we have 7. If you go back and read the minutes, we kind of talked about, let's wait and see what the data showed. So, the
So is
count.
there a motion?
I'm not making a motion yet. It's open discussion right now. So, my take is, I was the one that made the motion to create districts as well last time. And part of my motion was to wait and see what this data had come back with as well. But, we've operated well with seven members throughout history. But my take when I brought this up at the very first meeting was, do we still need 7 or should we go back to 5? So I'd like to open it up for discussion, to be honest, which is why I asked to waive Robert's rules.
Well, I think that probably the best way is make a motion and we can talk about it. Or we can just sit here and talk and then come bring up a motion. Is that what you think we
Yep.
should do? Anybody else?
Yeah, I'll comment on it. Just same thing I said before. I think when you go to 5, then 3 people can run the city. And by having 7 people, it gives more neighborhoods and more people the opportunity to get involved. And that's what the council's always said they want, is citizen involvement. So what's better than having 2 more people sitting up here, even if they're not sitting out there?
Anybody else before the motion? Go ahead.
I've done a lot of contemplation over this since our last discussion. I believe, if I'm hearing you right, you left it open
Yes.
to revisit this issue in your motion. I think there's a lot of merit to having the districts to go along with your idea as well. It would prevent special interest groups or anybody else on one particular neighborhood not having representation. And then who do you talk to? And where does it go from there? Again, like they brought up earlier, we have districts, if we have, I'm kind of thinking about a hybrid kind of thing, 5 districts and 2 at large, something like that is what I've kind of settled on in my mind that I could support. I think it would be a stronger form of government in Fort Walton because it would give the people better access to specific individuals that are governing the city. And you'd still maintain the 7 council members.
And that was my thought too. If we stay,
Hold on.
Okay.
I know we don't have Robert's rules,
Sure.
but we're not just gonna just blab along. Okay, so we're gonna also give someone else an opportunity
Sure.
before you speak again.
Sure.
This is not the Michael Beatty show. This is the commission. Someone else? We have 2.
I think more is better. We haven't had an issue with 7. Continue with 7.
I'm kind of in the middle on the hybrid too. I like I'm not opposed to 7. I do like the districts with some at-large people, and I think it could kind of form together. Is that I think that'd be a good way to move forward, in my opinion.
Any comment, Mr. Holmes?
Yeah, briefly, it's a lot to chew on with just a little bit of information right now, especially, I think, as Mr. Beatty alluded, it's worked perfectly fine for how many years? But then I can also see staff's side of it. You only have 5 to mess with. You don't have 7 people you have to deal with. I know I've talked to them, and I think one of the first questions Sabu ever asked me was, do I support districts? And I said, no. And that was in an agenda and I didn't really understand at the moment when I asked the question. I do now. But I have to go back. I hope that when I governed, I didn't care who you were. I wanted to listen and hear what you had to say. Now, is that always true with the council that will be sitting up here? Probably not. It's probably been shown that. Again, there may be a hybrid thing, and I'm not against looking at it, but for me to make a decision on that right now, I don't have enough information or knowledge that I could do that.
Second time around? Pretty
Y'all
much
go.
everybody said.
Oh, we had a turn, you go first?
No, it doesn't. I mean, I was just
Doesn't
gonna say,
matter.
I agree with Tony, and that was where I was going, the first meeting, was if we stay with 7, it should be 5 districts with 2 at large. If we go to 5, then it should probably be 5 districts, but.
Well, I was just gonna say that I agree with Michael on the 7 districts, but I agree with Mr. Minnick. I mean, the 7 seats, but I agree with Mr. Minnick on the folks that are sitting up here should represent everybody. And when I'm out there, I want to be able to feel like I can go to everybody and not that they're stuck representing their district. And I do. It's not, when I'm out there, I go speak to each council person when I have an issue. I think that's a better way.
All right, so we've talked about 2 things. Districts first, 7, 5 versus 7. Is there any kind of motion you want, or we just want to ramble?
Well, I got a question for the city attorney, because I made the motion that failed about the districts the first time. If I were to make a motion this time, am I allowed to do that?
I would say yes.
Okay,
You waived Robert's rules anyways.
okay, just making sure. All right, then I will make a motion that we keep the makeup of the council at 7 members, but look at a hybrid model with 5 districts and 2 at-large seats.
Second.
I'll second that.
Okay, Mr. B's made the motion to keep 7 city council members with 5 districts and 2 at large. Has been seconded by Mr. Peters. Anybody else want to talk? I mean, I know we've all done it beforehand, but it would be probably during the debate part. Yep. Anybody want to speak for the motion first? Michael, you want to say anything else?
No, I said.
Jeff?
Yeah, I mean, and the reason I would support that, and obviously we're just a committee that sends it to the city council for their decision, but you could have a city council that has 7 people that live next door to each other on one street, and every single project and every single thing that goes through the city is catered to that street or that neighborhood, and others kind of get left out. And I live in Kenwood area, and there's people that live in, over in Brook Street or Lovejoy and everything like that. So I do think there's different sets of communities that it could benefit from. There's probably pros and cons to each one of them, but I think it'd be something to look into and give everybody a voice from their community.
Someone want to speak against? I've already done before.
I've done before, but I'll make the same comment. It's worked before, like Mr. Holmes said. It hasn't ended up to where everybody has been in one neighborhood, and even when there's been a bunch of them that have been close together, they still care about what happens in the rest of the city. So.
Someone want to speak for the motion? Tony?
I think that the citizens will still have the representation they need, because when the council casts a vote, they cast a vote for the whole city. The representation doesn't limit you from speaking to all the council members, but your specific council member in your district would be the one to address your problem at the council, in my opinion. And you got 2 other options there as well, 3 other options. You have the city manager you can talk to, and you have 2 other at-large councilmen you can talk to.
Someone against the motion?
My only thought is, you have a district rep, is he only gonna fight for his district, New Park's coming, I want it in my district, whatever. He's only gonna be representing his people and not necessarily the entire city.
Okay, for the motion? Go ahead.
I don't know if I'm for or against, but I'm
Well,
gonna
go ahead.
but I'm gonna speak.
Please do. Speak up.
We go way back to, and I'm just gonna ramble a little bit. The reason we don't run for a seat, I was the driving force behind that, because, there was times that I ran unopposed, and that was great for me running, but it's not good for the public. You should always have an opponent, or even at least always be able to speak on your platform. There was times that I ran against somebody that was very qualified, and one of us was going to lose, but since we had chose to run against each other, it may have taken one of the better ones out, because lots of times there was times when you would have 5 or 6 people running for the open seat, and so they really weren't running against, and it created problems. So you didn't have people running for some of the seats. That was one of the reasons we changed for it, because you didn't have any candidates. Are we going to get back to that? And Mr. Caldarelli, what he says, I've seen it kind of evident now that there's council people that, well, this is what I want in my neighborhood, and really push the council and the manager and the staff to get what they wanted to serve their purpose in their neighborhood. And it's going to be more prevalent whenever that gets to that point, if we go that route. I think there's probably an opportunity to look at something. The question is if you run for district, are you running for a district? Do you sign up for a district and run for that district? Or are you, we're running at large now for everything. I think that so far it's been pretty well shown that every councilman that's set up here as a whole has set up here to represent the entire city. In personally, again, I go back, I don't care who you are in the city. If you're a city resident, you can come to me or any of the rest of them. And I think it's always or mostly been that way. Because you remember, if you got 7 people, you only got to convince 4. You don't have to worry about the other 3. So I think it's a lot deeper subject that probably needs to have a lot more thought go into it before some kind of decision is made to change something that's worked like it has for 50 years.
All right, I haven't spoken yet. Sure. Thank you.
Neither have I.
You want to switch seats? Chairman sign?
No.
Okay, thanks. I'm going to speak against this motion, and the reason is that, as I stated before, when I was a city councilman, I was everyone's city councilman. Anybody. I understand some of the issues with people in neighborhoods and not a full representation of the population. I've seen it recently, but I'm seeing it change. And I think it can change. And I think that having 7 elected council members that represents everybody is the way to go.
Can the public address it?
No, sir, we've already done that. I appreciate it, but,
I mean, this particular issue, you've addressed.
well, we took public comment. I tell you what, go ahead.
Yeah.
Just make it short, come to the podium.
Just on this issue, because, obviously, having a person who represents your district is only one vote. That person still has to convince 4 or 3 other councilmen even to, that the decision is wise. And so it doesn't give anyone any power, more so than just, it gives me someone who's an advocate for my district. That's really what we're saying. It's not that you don't represent all of the city, because if you vote on this particular issue or something that's near and dear to your heart, that person's going to be also deciding other issues in the city. It's not taking him or her away from doing the work of the entire city and being concerned about the whole city. But really what it does is it allows a city resident to have someone that they can call on to be the champion of an issue that they have. And if that champion says, oh, I don't think that's a good idea, or maybe even talking to them, having someone to discuss it, individually. And then really understanding the area, because maybe they live in that area. Like you said, you live in the Kenwood area, you kind of understand the needs of Kenwood as opposed to the needs of Lovejoy, as opposed to the needs of Brooks, which are often different. And so really, it's just having a champion for that particular community. And it takes nothing away. That champion still has to convince 3 other council members to support what they're looking for.
That's what it's all about anyway, right?
That's
You
right.
gotta get those other 3. Drag it on, bud.
I will.
Yeah.
No, I just wanted to remind everyone, you know, as a committee, we're here to present ideas to the city council. They get the final say so. They can amend anything we present to them. So, you know, we're basically just throwing out ideas and recommendations, and in the end, they can make the final decision. But I heard Mr. Holmes's arguments and your arguments about, you know, representing the entire city. Well, everybody up here that gets elected represents the entire city. But like Sabu said, they actually have an advocate in their neighborhood or their district, which has not been the case throughout the history here. You know, we've had cases where 3 to 5 of the members have been from Kenwood. We've had cases where 3 to 5 of the members have been from the Elliott Point, you know, Brook Street area. So who's to say they're not representing their interests in that neighborhood more than they are, you know, the rest of the city. So we can argue either way for any of it, but I think as far as presenting it to council as an idea, I mean, I think, you know, that's what we're sitting up here for. So.
I think a lot, I still am not in favor. I thought a lot of it is, we would hope that people that throughout the city would be interested enough to run. Not just people that live in Elliott Point, because that's happened very recently. In Kenwood before. We want to encourage people to go out and get people that think like they do to run and to campaign for them and do that. I mean, it's not just you have to because you're in a district. To me, it's like, dude, run. I've had people I've begged to run, and I don't want to get involved. So anyway, I understand it. I'm still opposed. Anybody else?
You restate the motion?
The motion is for the city government to remain, or the city council to have 7 members, and the composition will be 5 in districts. We haven't said the districts, and then 2 at large.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Guys, I thought, didn't you include in your motion for the council to look at it?
No.
Okay, so
This would be our
specifically make this
recommendation.
recommendation, okay.
Yes.
No, but what I said to Mr. Williams was that they, because they came late in the process, that they should take their proposal to the council because they're the decision makers. Anything else? All right, please vote.
Did I second that?
Yes, you did.
It's a long time ago.
I know. And it fails 4-3. Let me just say, even though it did fail here, please take it forward. All right. And so we're still at 7. So that was 7 with districts. So we probably better to say remain at 7. That would be nothing would be required. If you want to change it to 5, it will require a motion. No motion. All right, remain 7. All right, can we go on to the next one? Yes. You have somebody else you want? All right, creation and composition, change of residency requirement. Constitutional law prohibits a 2-year residency requirement. However, a 1-year residency requirement is legally permissible. The red line contains this modification. Unless someone has a problem with it, we can leave the red line the way it is, or we'll take a motion for 1 year. Unless you just want to talk about it. So what happened was, in the last meeting, we went to 1 year, and it was changed to 2 years, but the Florida constitutional law prohibits 2-year residency, so.
So do we need a motion to change to 1?
To change to 1, I think that would be appropriate.
I would make that motion.
I'll second.
All right, Mr. Holmes has moved to make the residency requirement 1 year for city council. Mr. Beatty has seconded. Mr. Holmes, your motion?
No, that's fine.
Anybody opposed? Anybody in favor? Let's vote. You better vote yes. No. It was, we voted last time for a 2-year residency requirement for city council. We're voting for 1.
Let's be unanimous.
Yeah, but the only thing. All right.
6 months.
It was 6 months before. That's correct. Limit on number of terms for city council. This was, Ms. Cobb, tell us about the Florida statute that prohibits requirement for resign.
Well, what we were saying here is that the state law already governs the process and timelines for resignation, so we would be preempted on that, but we leave in the other language that you all talked about.
Right.
And it's here in writing, if you want me to read it, I can.
You can read it.
Okay, so the language, well, I'll read from the beginning. It says, "No person shall be elected to the office of city council or mayor of the city of Fort Walton Beach for more than 2 consecutive terms." That's existing. Now, here's the new language. "Regardless of the length of such terms. If a council member declares candidacy for another elected position, that council member will resign within the time period permitted under the state law. Declaring candidacy is defined as filing the appropriate paperwork with the supervisor of elections to run for another elected position. If an elected official resigns for any reason, they may not be appointed or in any way reinstated during the same term, and if they are serving their second elected term, they may not run for re-election."
We'll need it.
Question?
Knock yourself out. You're done.
That statement you just made, it meets legal muster?
Yes.
Okay.
So the only thing, my question is, the only thing removed
We
was.
take it out immediately.
Right.
It said you had to resign immediately. The
Right.
state law gives you a longer time period than that.
Right.
Thank you.
Questions? Discussion or motion? I move that we adopt as presented by Ms. Cobb. Second?
Second.
All right. I made the motion as presented by Ms. Cobb. Mr. Calderelli seconded. I think that's what we talked about last time, except that we said they had to resign immediately, which is taken out because of state law. Anyone opposed? Anyone in favor again? Let's vote. Oh, man, I was behind. I clicked it twice. Let's. All right, the next section at 8 deals with the general powers, and Mr. Taylor, what we're going to ask Mr. Taylor here is to, because it's got a pretty long thing here, is to make a presentation on what he would like to see this section. Mr. Taylor?
Let me find what I...
You want my copy? Don't forget to pass it back.
I think, at least I did, I think we had a discussion, we needed to pin down on what kind of sanctions the council could provide for disorderly behavior, things like that by council members and things. So, and I agree with that. It's, you can't just say be disorderly and I mean, you could interpret that a million different ways. So I did come up with a one-page thing. I'm not going to read the whole thing.
Let me ask a question real quick before you continue. Did everyone get the opportunity to read this? This one-page document permitted? Okay. So I think you don't need to go through the whole thing. I think it was excellently written. Any questions? Go ahead.
For those looking for it, it's at 6.6 at the top right-hand page, and
Or-
it says submitted by Tony Taylor. Looks like this.
Or my copy.
Or his copy.
Yeah. All right. Any questions? After, you guys take a minute and read it. And then if you have any questions, let's ask. It's the last one.
It's a single page, yeah.
And what we'll do is after you read it, if you have any questions to Mr. Taylor, please just kind of raise your hand. And we'll go to questions. Okay, everybody had a chance? Uh-oh, I see Mr. B right.
Just a spelling.
Oh, spelling error? Grammatical. What, no comma?
No, it says in the third paragraph under punish, it says if the council is compromised of 7 members, it should be comprised.
Okay, okay. Was that comprised? So we'll change that. All right. Question?
For the city attorney?
What was the question?
I haven't yet.
Oh, okay. No wonder I couldn't hear it.
I guess, I know previously there was a procedure or protocol. Would this be addressed as a charter amendment or as the procedure and protocol or rules that the council would adopt?
I mean, and that is a decision ultimately for you all, the council and the voters. It could certainly be done either way. So that's for you to discuss. I would say that if you start putting these details into the charter and it doesn't work well, it would be very hard to amend. So it might be easier to have it done in a separate ordinance that's not the charter, because if something comes up that's not contemplated, for example, and the council then wants to make an amendment, they're going to have to wait for an election to deal with disorderly behavior. So I think that's why sometimes we do it outside of the charter.
Go ahead and finish.
And the legality of this as presented is okay?
You mean the exact wording or the policy? I mean, the policy is okay. I'd probably try to shorten it a little bit if this is, I think you all should decide if this is, if you want to define disorderly conduct in the charter in this sort of a way that it's presented.
Thank you.
Because it does reference the rules and procedures as actually delineating the process. So I have no issue defining, disorderly conduct and punishment in the charter. But as far as the process goes, it should not be in the charter, I don't think.
I can't look at that.
Yeah.
So what's, I'm way behind here. And the process is which paragraph?
No, it actually says the process would be
Okay, I got
delineated
it.
in the
All
rules.
right.
And you could put in the charter that the council needs to adopt by ordinance specifics dealing with disorderly conduct and not lay it out there so that it's not hard to amend later, but that's just another food for thought.
Who decides if it's disorderly or not?
Well, if you're going, it depends how you present it. The way it's currently proposed, it looks like the council vote decides, and it lists in here what the votes would be depending on the number of council members at the time.
Paragraph 4.
What's the definition of expulsion?
There is none in here, but I would assume that means removed from the city council, and on that's the one portion of this I think is venturing off into potentially not legal, because we have a referendum process that is already in the Florida statutes for recall of an elected official. But certainly suspension would be,
That was put in there more as an example
Yeah.
of the range of things.
that's what I thought you were doing. So I would probably change that word to suspension, but
Have you, I mean, your legal opinion is then that this complies with Florida law? Because, I mean, I did a little bit of research on it, and what I found, there's only two methods: a recall election, or the governor can suspend somebody, and then the Senate has to remove them. An elected official cannot remove it except for those two.
no, I agree. That's what I'm saying. That portion of the, but this is a very lengthy, multi-paragraph description, and now we're talking about one word.
And there are definitions, though,
Right.
in the state statute of what is disorderly. There are definitions that, you know, we're trying to recreate what state law already says.
Well, I think the council can put rules on itself beyond what's in state law, not with respect to removing someone from the council, but in general, they can impose additional requirements on themselves beyond state law.
Motion. Unless you had something else. Going once.
I mean, right now it says in the charter, the current charter, that it requires a unanimous vote of council for removal. And what you're saying is that's
Well,
not legal?
well, it says expel a member. It doesn't say remove from the city council. To me, that meant expel from the room, but I don't know what was intended when this was written.
I read it like he did.
Yeah, so maybe that can be clarified.
There's a lot of room for definitions, and that's what I was trying to get at. I saw the staff research, and it's going to get off into another section here real quick, Mike. When we get into the compelling the members to attend meetings, and I noticed that several, if my memory serves me correctly, several of the procedures, policies, or charter sections that were sent to you, they allow for, if they miss so many meetings, and it specifically describes it for throwing them off the council.
Next. That one's
Well, that's what I'm getting at, though, because there's the, is that just something they understand going in? If you miss 4 meetings in 12 months, you're out of here? I mean, is that something they agree to when they get elected?
It's
What?
it's defined as forfeiture, not expulsion, though.
All right. Yeah, hang
Okay.
on, hang on. Let's stick
So
with
you're
what
looking
we
at
got.
an abandonment issue rather than a disciplinary issue at that point? Okay.
All right, general powers and rules of council. We've talked about it. Mr. Taylor's presented it. Is there a motion? Either all or in part or something different?
I'll make a motion that we let that we put the definitions in the charter of disruptive behavior and define the terms of punishment and allow the attorney to bring this down to a paragraph or so.
All right, so what you're doing is, if I understand this, is you're kicking the can down the road a little bit
Kicking the
farther?
can over to her.
Which is what we did in the first meeting?
Well, it's written now. She can just take this and whittle it down to
All
what
right,
can
so,
go to council.
from what I understand, you would like to make a motion that the city attorney review this, which of course you realize there will be another meeting. Review this and come back with definitions in more of a succinct manner.
Exactly.
All right, that's your motion, right?
That's my motion.
Second? Fails for lack of second. Another motion? Oh, Michael, anything else? Give me a chance. All right, so the next one is section 9, which, Mr. B, do you have a presentation?
Yeah, you know, my reason for bringing this up at the first meeting was because, you know, if you're elected to this office, you should attend the meetings. I mean, you were elected to represent the people, and you should attend the meetings. And we didn't really have anything anywhere that would, that, you know, solidified that or required that. And so, you know, I'd made an attempt at some language, but, you know, thanks to Ms. Barnes and Ms. Kopp, they were able to pull some information from some other cities that is actually way better written than what I had. And, you know, for example, if you look at the packet that's labeled 6.9 or 6.7 actually, that's got highlighting at the top, you know, the city of Venice, I mean, that's a pretty good way to, you know, discuss this. And it's not expulsion from office, and it doesn't require any vote of the council. It, you know, if you miss 3 regular meetings that are unexcused in a 12-month period, you're out. You know, you forfeit your office. And so, and then it also lists the reasons for excused absences there. So there's really no subjectivity there. I mean, it's pretty well written. So, I mean, we can open it up for discussion before I make a motion, but that's where.
Well, if you want to make a motion, you can. And then we'll
Okay,
discuss it.
I'll make a motion that we adopt language similar to the city of Venice.
Is that what's written here?
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Okay.
It's written here.
It's in your package.
Yeah.
All right, let me look first, because I'm gonna have to. Okay, Venice, all right. So your motion is exactly what Venice says?
Yes.
Okay. Has everybody looked at that? Is that you? All right, so it's been moved that we adopt the city of Venice's policies on attendance by Mr. Beatty, and it was seconded by Mr. Holmes. Mr. Beatty?
Yeah, and part of that too, and I haven't really spoken to Ms. Kopp about legality. I mean, it's in a lot of these, the same language, but I would give the city attorney leeway to amend the language to comply with statute and any other laws.
Someone opposed? I see the same thing. Someone for it again? Anybody?
Yeah, I'd just like to mention that number 4, which is highlighted, it does put the power in the council to determine if they're excused absences.
Yes.
So I think that gives them every chance they can to have an excused absence for a legitimate reason.
You know, I think health issues should be better defined. If you got a cold, does that count?
Hold on. You want to make an amendment? We do kind of follow rules once we have a motion, but did you think something should be amended?
Just better defined under the excused absences, as far as health issues. I mean, should it be a doctor's written excuse, you know, to qualify? I don't know.
What if you just change it from saying council will excuse those to council may? That way the council can review
And
a
decide.
health issue and decide,
Yeah,
for
sounds good.
example.
And where is that, please?
That's in
Council
Venice,
may.
number 2.
Be
May be
excused.
excused. Oh, right, is that?
I'll amend my motion to,
That's fine. We've blown it out, so let's just move forward. Everybody cool with that? May instead of will? All
I do
right,
have a question for you.
go right ahead.
Does using the word forfeiture, does that get past the state law? And I'm specifically referencing number 3 here, where
Yeah.
that's one of the items that's specifically listed under the state law as far as removal.
Let me do some research on that before getting back to you, okay? Because I do think it can be done this way, but I'll get you some actual case law on it.
Okay.
and Ms. Kopp has the leeway to amend the language if needed, so.
Right,
yeah.
all right. Okay, so unless otherwise advised by the city attorney, anyone else? All right, let's vote. 6.8. So right now, we passed what Mr. Taylor made the motion for the last, we passed that. However, when Ms. Barnes was going through, she thought maybe we had excluded something, correct?
So when it was presented and the chair repeated the motion, it was to eliminate the last portion of the sentence, unless for temporary service not to exceed 60 days. However, when Mr. Taylor stated the motion, he made the motion to delete the entire sentence. So if that was the intent, which Ms. Kopp has said that it would be fine, it's not going to hinder anything, we can leave it as is. I just wanted to bring that to your attention. If anyone listened to the presentation again, that's not what was presented, however, that was what the motion was.
Okay, so basically when I repeated what
information.
Chief Bay says, it wasn't a motion. And then when Mr. Taylor made the motion, it was excluded. So so I'm going to go ahead and allow, if Mr. Taylor, is that what you wanted to do? Or was that something that you made an error with?
It was recommended to delete everything after the comma.
Unless for temporary service not to exceed 60 days.
But when the chair asked you to restate it, I think you just read the sentence, and so therefore the motion was to delete the entire sentence. But again, Ms. Kopp said it's fine, it's not going to really affect that much. We don't need that, all such appointments shall be without definite terms.
Thank you
So-
for that review. But unless someone wants to make a motion, we've already decided this. I think we just move on, unless you want to revisit. Got to check with the chairman. All right. The next one, section 6.9, section 17. Ms. Barnes explained this to me the other day, and I said, well, you're going to have to go over it again because I have no idea what you're talking about. Now, could you go through this, please?
Okay. So section 17.
Hold on 1 second. Ladies, thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. You bet. Come on, it gets better. Go ahead.
So section 17 is what allows different departments and boards and so forth to be established. And when it says departments, I take that as meaning that, let's use an example. If at one meeting you did a resolution that said we're going to eliminate the museum, and you don't advertise it and you don't have a public meeting because those aren't required by resolution. So council has not given the opportunity for the public to speak, to advertise it or anything to know that it's coming. It will be on the agenda. It'll be posted as an agenda item, but there's like not 2 hearings, not a public hearing.
Got it.
Because that's what we talked about, changing it from resolution to.
Or ordinances, right.
From ordinance to resolution. And that's fine if that's what the group wants to do. I just thought about it. It's doing something to departments that the community is used to having. So should you offer it up for a public hearing?
Ms. Kopp, talk about the difference in ordinances and resolutions and why.
So an ordinance is basically going to be a law and something enforceable, whereas a resolution is a policy, generally. The process is very different because a resolution can just be approved at one meeting. It doesn't have separate advertising requirements like an ordinance. And an ordinance has to have 2 readings and does have public advertising requirements. So both are done at a public meeting, but there's some more advance notice of an ordinance and 2 hearings instead of 1. Actually, technically, a resolution doesn't need a hearing at all. So we could still keep it as a resolution, but say after a public hearing if you all feel that that is more appropriate. Right, Kim? You good with that? Okay.
So what are we asking to change?
I'm not asking you to change
No, I mean-
anything.
I'm not asking either. I just wanted to point it out that making those types of decisions are not allowing the typical notifications that you give to the public.
With
to
an
have input.
ordinance, but there's no separate requirements for resolutions.
Right.
because they are not a law. It is a policy of the city council. They are still on the agenda. The public still knows about them, but we don't, for example, put an ad in a newspaper.
All right, I got you. So what's the purpose of bringing us out? Have we done something?
Do you want to leave this to say just a regular resolution, and it can go on any agenda with no additional advertisements? And again, I'm not making a presentation, I'm just pointing out the difference in changing it with something that affects services that's provided to the community.
Go ahead, Mike.
This particular question is only pertaining to administrative departments.
Correct.
Your question. So the question is, do we want to allow appointment or dissolution of departments without an ordinance?
Is that the issue?
Well, no, at our
I think her issue is really, do you want to allow it without a public hearing?
At the first meeting, we changed ordinance to resolution.
Right.
It used to require an ordinance.
Right.
We changed it to resolution. But resolutions don't require public advertisement, other than posting on the agenda.
Right.
So-
I mean, that's not why we changed it. We changed
Yeah.
it because it's not really a law. It's not something
Yeah.
that you need to enforce.
It's a council decision.
Yeah.
Mainly during budget time,
Exactly.
9 times out of 10, but, they're asking, do we want to require an advertised public hearing in order to, basically dissolve any department?
Well, this is not just dissolve, this is creating it also.
Yeah, creating order,
Correct.
yeah.
Creating or dissolving any more
Yep.
authority.
Go ahead, Mike.
Is this limiting the city manager's ability to govern his organization?
Based on the way the charter was written, I don't believe the city manager could dissolve departments.
The way that the charter is written, the council dissolves or creates departments, but then the manager manages them.
Yes.
And so the council would not interfere with the management of the departments, but they would still they would determine what departments he has to manage.
So basically, if any kind of departments are changed, then it would, by making it an ordinance instead of a resolution, it's a different process and requires more review. That's the way I
Fair.
read that?
That's true.
All right, what do you think?
And it would, yeah.
You want to move it back to ordinance? Anybody?
I like the idea of requiring an advertised public hearing.
So your motion would be to, section 17, to remove the two references to resolution.
No, to leave it as a resolution, but require an advertised public hearing.
So a
Basically,
resolution-
Ms. Barnes is, I think, your recommendation.
Okay, so it would require, and how do we add that language here?
She's got it.
She's-
Sure, I
provided
did. All right,
I would say a publicly advertised.
advertised public hearing.
all right. Motion.
I'll make that motion,
Okay.
yes.
One public. hearing.
Yes,
One
one.
public hearing. So so we're just adding one public hearing. Repeat the full motion, please.
It's to require a resolution with one advertised public hearing.
Okay. So the motion is to change the paragraph and administrative departments to read there such departments, boards, authorities may be established by resolution with one public hearing.
Advertised public hearing.
Advertised, one advertised public hearing. Okay, is that what you seconded? Mr. Beatty made the motion, just as I read, and Mr., what was your name again? Jeff made the second, so, anybody,
No.
pretty much,
Yeah.
anybody against? All right, let's vote. It's the part. All right. Next item is compensation to elected officials, Mr. Beatty. Oh,
items that we didn't address.
Okay.
We're going to go back and go through the red line at the end of it.
Yeah, we're gonna, yes, we are. Yeah, this, what we're doing right now is just the ones that we knew for sure we needed to, we haven't done. And then what we're gonna go through afterwards is all of those things that were, not with the red line, but in the first meeting that was highlighted in yellow, which referred to others. And if there's others, after that, we'll talk to those as well, all right?
And that specific one that I believe you're talking about, Mr. Smith, was kind of finalized at that meeing.
Yeah.
And he'll bring that to your attention in the
Yeah,
minutes.
we'll bring
do
that back up. That, I wanted to get through these because they were things we knew had to go, and then when we go through the red line, that's gonna be a little different. Go ahead, Mr. Beatty.
Yeah, after the last meeting we had, I think on the 13th of June, we discussed the 3 new sections to the charter, and the first one was section 33, which right now says prohibition of compensation to elected officials, but we discussed at the last meeting potentially drafting some language that would allow for some type of, stipend or whatever. So I took a stab at crafting some language. It's this addition to our agenda packet labeled 6.10 on the top. Basically said no elected official shall receive compensation in the form of a salary. However, elected officials shall be eligible for a monthly stipend adopted by City Council via resolution that may be applied towards the elected official's portion of the premium for the selected employee health plan for a single employee. And then I said elected officials shall be reimbursed for expenses, actually incurred in the performance of their duties. That doesn't really give them a salary, but it does allow them, if council approves it each year, to use a stipend towards the single employee portion. Because right now, I believe the city still covers a single employee's premium for one of the plans, and it would be very similar in this case. However,
Hold on.
at the hearing for Mr. Minnick a few weeks ago,
Oh, please, let's not bring that up.
Mr. Burns brought up the issue that it has been deemed that city council members are not treated as employees. So I just wanted to bring that up as
I'm a
well.
little curious about that myself.
So I wrote this before I heard that, and because we've kind of treated the council members as employees in the past, but with that determination, that I just wanted to bring that up as we consider this.
Ms. Kopp, you have an opinion on that?
I had a few questions about your language, but we'll get to that. I think you all should determine what you want to recommend as the policy, and then we will make that recommendation to council. So I don't think council members are employees, but they can receive what the charter says they can receive. So it's your discretion to make a recommendation, and if I could ask you some questions, but I don't want to get ahead of the rest of you.
His presentation, you got a question?
Okay, just so a couple of things. Where it says they shall be eligible for a monthly stipend, I think what you're saying is in the discretion of the council
Yes.
each year. So
Yes.
I might add language that just says, may be eligible for a stipend
Okay.
in the discretion of the council, if that's the intent. And then the part where it says it may be applied towards the premium,
Yeah,
they aren't required to apply it, right? They can choose to apply it or just keep the money, the stipend money?
that's how I had
Okay,
it written.
nope,
yes.
I just want to make sure I got it right. And then, that's fine. And then at the end, where it says including out-of-town expenses, would that be expenses in town as well for training?
No, just out of town.
Just out of town? Okay, that's my questions, thanks.
So basically, I'll get right to you, hang on. What we're kind of looking at is however elected officials may be eligible.
Yes.
Instead of shall.
At the discretion of council. And I'll qualify the out of town because in town would be covered pretty much, possibly by the stipend if they decide to keep it. Out of town is usually recommended or approved separately by city council. So,
But in a way, it almost encourages out-of-town travel, because if you do, or training out of town, because if you do your training in town, you have to take it out of your stipend. But if you leave.
But out-of-town training is approved by council.
True. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Mr. Peters, you have something?
Just a clarification for Michael. So it says in here, shall be eligible for monthly stipend adopted by council via resolution that may be applied towards the elected officials portion. So is the thought they get a stipend? If they want to put it towards insurance, they can, of the city's plan. They have the option to get into the city's plan, but they don't have to take insurance. And if it's, let's say, up to, for example, $1,000, they get $1,000 a month.
Yeah.
They
could buy into the single employee portion of the insurance, or
So they would have the option to enroll in the cities with utilizing their stipend.
yeah, only the single employee though, not family.
Mr. Chair, question?
Please.
Go.
So the 7 council members are sitting up here deciding how much they're going to get for a stipend. And who starts that conversation? City manager, the attorney, city clerk?
Look, this is a proposal, guys. I mean,
And I agree.
I'm open to,
You know,
the other option I looked at was just having it automatically applied to the single employee health plan too. I mean, that was the other option I looked at.
But you already have health insurance, you don't need that under.
Yeah,
And then they don't get to take anything home, which would comply with what the voters voted for
right.
to,
Because if they didn't, I mean, for instance, I never took the insurance, they didn't have to. So, you have that, and as far as the stipend goes, if you wanted to put a limit on the stipend, we could recommend that. Because I was thinking the same thing, but I put a limit, but I had very similar, not near as good a language as this, but it was gonna be, a limit of $500. And that way, you don't get guys in there, hey, let's make it 2,000.
yeah.
And down at the yacht club. It's just, I'm just saying. So.
No, this, because last time we discussed this, we didn't really have language
Right.
crafted,
It
so
was good.
I wanted to get something out in front of
Very
us
good.
to where we could discuss it and make amendments or, not vote on it at all or, whatever, so.
No, so, anybody else first? Did you spoke already? No, are you sure? I couldn't tell. Go ahead.
go ahead. So and I get it. Again, are we making an amendment to the charter, or is we're going to just recommend that the council handle it by resolution? I think the charter is, the charter should state that there is a stipend or whatever the word we want to use it, and then direct a resolution through their protocol, procedure, whatever, that they set an amount, or there's a way to determine the amount, or put that $500 in here. We can make a recommendation of a dollar amount where they didn't have to start with something.
I think you hit on it, we'll put a cap in it, because that's, but I think 500 is a little bit low. I don't have to tell you guys the tremendous amount of work that the council puts in. I'd go with a $1,000 cap.
Okay, let me just say, we could put a cap on it, there's no doubt about it. God, that's what I was gonna say, because I was listening to Mike.
Thank you.
We could put a cap on it if we wanted to. Now, I'm fading here.
That hurt?
I don't go on by noise. The last meeting, it was like, how do we determine what they get? And nobody knew. We had to dig around and find out how they actually, what to pay for the council. Remember, it's like, I don't know, how do they figure it out? And it comes around in the budget process, correct? So if it was resolution or the budget process, it doesn't really make any difference. It's all part of the budget, right?
Yeah, the budget's adopted by resolution.
Yeah, that is a resolution, correct. All right, so,
And one other thing too, when I did that research on this, I don't know the definitions of all of these, but when it used to be, I guess it used to be called a stipend as well, and then in 2007, in the ordinance that approved the budget, it says, due to an Internal Revenue Service ruling, City Council's expense allowance must be treated as wages subject to Social Security and Medicare withholding. And this effect of this change will be partially offset by the 1.4% increase in the expense allowance effective October 1st of '07. And then the health insurance benefit is not subject to taxation as a result of this change. So just keep those in mind. I don't know if that affects anything at that point. but-
That's correct. But that's
They're
what
not
that
employees,
conversation
yeah.
created then was, no, you're an employee, so now you have to take the taxes out because they weren't held out for a while. That was from some of the finance directors at that
You
time.
know, just pay them a stipend at 1099 them.
Yeah, 10 independent contractor.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, so,
You don't want to keep it under that 3% though. It was tough to budget this year without it. Too soon?
that 3%.
We haven't
Well,
got,
we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there.
All right, so we've talked about it. I believe, as Mr. Taylor stated, put a limit of 1,000 a month. Mr. B, you want to make a motion?
yeah, I'll just say, I didn't put a limit in here because I didn't, it's the charter. I didn't want it,
I know
I
what
thought the resolution way was the way to go with that, so,
So you want, just with the change in one word may, you want to make a motion to follow your proposed?
I'm a little hung up on whether we should allow them to take anything home or not, or if it should be strictly for their portion of the health insurance.
Well,
Again, if they already have health insurance, it's not really fair to the other guy.
yeah, I mean, you're supposed to, there's no motion on the table, but what I would say is that, if everybody gets the same thing, everybody gets the same thing, I mean, I had insurance, it doesn't have to go toward the insurance, and, all city council members got expenses. So this basic stipend, is paying for those types of expenses and time spent, and if they want to apply it toward the insurance, they can do that. But if they don't, then they can, they can use it for what they see fit. I mean, when I was on, we got, I don't even know what it was, $400, something like that. Yeah. So, everybody should get the same. And if you don't need the insurance, then you can spend on whatever. Go ahead.
There should be a limit to the stipend.
And I may have discussed it with Ms. Cobb. The county commissioners get paid a certain amount,
Yeah.
and I don't know
A
who.
lot of amount.
Well,
It's-
Well,
it's-
you'll just
they
give-
have
It's set by the
they
state.
have a dollar amount set in statute that is, it depends what the population of the county is, right? So I'm looking at that chart, it's not that high of a salary. It goes from $4,500 a year to $22,500, depending on the population from small.
And it's set by the population every year, that changes.
Yeah,
My thought when we were discussing is
1%.
take a percent, if they get 20,000 and we think the councilman should get whatever 5% works out to, the math, the amendments say they will get 5% of what the county commissioner gets. And that way, if whatever changes it will also affect the council. But yet, they won't be setting the dollar amount they get. It's a percentage that's set on another formula that they decided is good for the county commissioners.
So I did learn yesterday, the city of Pensacola has that set up. They are using a similar formula as what county commissioners and school boards use.
Because, there again, sitting up here as a councilman is different than me sitting up here as owner of Holmes Auto Repair. I can give myself a raise. But those councilmen are giving themselves raises with the city money. And if there's a set percentage, just like, okay, whatever the state determines the county commissioners are going to get, you get 5%. And that's just a number I've thrown out. We'll come up with the dollar amount. And it'll be in an amendment that it'll always be there, and it'll change by their percentage. If the public says y'all shouldn't get paid at all, well, then the council's going to have to follow suit and address that.
What are the county's revenues compared to the city's revenues? I mean, do they have that much more money they can afford to pay their people?
Well, they have a $600 million budget.
Yeah, but that's why I say we don't take the same amount of $20,000 they get. We take 5% of that. It's whatever comes out. Quick math, I can't do that.
Yeah, so if they were getting 22,500, 5% would be 1,125.
Yeah, and you could.
So if we set it at 1,000.
So you could say, that's, and you would have to have the language, it's paid every month, so you
That
might
number's an
break it
annual
down.
number or a monthly number? I think their salary's in the 75 to 80.
I thought so too.
20,000, that's a month.
Yeah, theirs is
No, that's annual.
Let me
75,000.
Let me pull it back up.
Yeah, they're in the 75 to 80,
Oh, yeah.
or somewhere around there.
90-something. I think it's like 90-something.
So if you said 10% and just allocated, that would be $9,000 divided by 12 comes to whatever accountant the math is,
Yeah.
$900 a month or something like that. Right?
I hear you. I think we're way into, I think we just settle it. And I think you settle it and make them, $500, that's all you get. 1,000, that's more than they're getting now.
Yeah,
so.
that's a little on the high side.
So I get your point that, but they're doing it already. We've already done it. It's always part of the budget process. I think we do it to settle in a way to be, reasonable for paying expenses. That's just what I think, so. Go ahead, Joe.
Only thing I would say, just setting by resolution where there's no amount is, you get somebody that gets up on council that one year they're getting an X amount of dollars a month, and then the next year it gets voted down, they don't get anything. So I definitely think a select amount monthly is the way to go. And if you want to do it by percentage of the population, that'd be pretty easy to figure out. Whatever the population of the city is, if it's 20,000 and you get
$1.
whatever percent is, then that's it. If you're answering if it increases to 25,000, you got 5 more thousand people to deal with as a council member, you get a little bit more extra a month.
Where we at, guys?
I'm gonna let someone else make it.
Oh, you coward, it was your stuff. Anybody have a motion then? All right,
I'll make a motion.
go ahead.
And I got actually two of them. I'll make one.
Just, sounds good.
No elected, change the language of this section to read, no elected shall receive compensation in the form of a salary. However, elected officials shall be eligible to participate in the city's health insurance program and pay their portion of the premium of the plan, selected in the same manner as other city employees. If an elected official elects not to participate in the health insurance program, they shall receive payment the equivalent value of the lowest cost plan available to the employees to make it fair for everybody. Elected officials shall also be entitled to full reimbursement for any and all expenses actually occurred in the performance of their duties commensurate with city policies and procedures regarding expenditures.
So you said shall be eligible, but we all talked about that may be eligible. That you got a problem with?
Isn't it cost like $24,000?
No, that's family.
All right, so the motion is,
Single employee health,
I don't know how much.
the
it is.
lowest. The one that you cover 100% for.
I can't really text it from the last one.
no elected, this is the motion. No elected official shall receive compensation in the form of a salary. However, elected officials shall be eligible, you've got a problem me calling it may be eligible to participate in the city's health insurance program and may pay their portion of the premium of the plan selected in the same manner as other employees, city employees. If an elected official elects not to participate in the health insurance plan, they may receive payment for the equivalent value of the lowest cost plan available to employees. Elected officials shall also be entitled to full reimbursement for any and all expenses actually incurred in the performance of their duties commensurate with city policies and procedures regarding expenditures.
So he's setting the stipend at the cost of what the insurance plan is for a single,
The lowest plan.
the lowest plan, whatever that dollar is.
We're looking at
I've got 3 dots.
3 dots. All right, so is there a second to this motion?
796 per month for employee only. That's the 100%.
That'll be the stipend.
Can I say one other thing to you really quick?
No, go sit down. No, you can't shake cards.
He was kidding, come back.
Come back.
We need to check
Did you get anything?
if we go with stipend, if our health plans will allow us to let council be included in it, because sometimes certain health plans won't let that, so.
All right, so what we'll do is,
But
if
what's
we-
changed from,
If they're not employees, if they're not employees.
What do you mean?
because council was eligible for insurance
Because they're
before.
treated as an employee.
But they
The way they
are,
were paid, because we took out FICA.
True.
Because we took out FICA and all that, so they were treated in the IRS rules of being an employee, but if we just do a straight stipend and don't take that out, then they're a little different. We just gotta check.
all right,
you need a second.
we need a second. Second for that, for this one? Come on, Michael, help me out here. You can do it. Anybody else?
Could be amended.
No second?
Well, the thing on the table here, though, is if they're actually not considered employees, then they don't even have the option to even take their money and put it in. I'd like to make a motion.
Okay, this one fails for lack of second. Go for it.
I'd like to make a motion that all city council members receive a monthly supplement of $1,000.
Second.
All right, your motion, go for it. You want to speak to it anymore?
I don't, we went way back, all getting into the weeds on this one. I mean, I think, I personally, it's my opinion, but I think council members work, and the meetings are going to midnight, and I think they deserve compensation. And I think that gives somebody at least the incentive to spend the hours that it takes monthly to be on the board.
It's also simple.
Repeat your motion. Say it again.
All council members
Right.
will receive a monthly supplement of $1,000.
Be cheaper to go to 5 councilmen than
Jeff, is that in addition to reimbursable expenses?
Plus reimbursable expenses.
Which would be elected officials shall be reimbursed for. Okay. Second?
Second.
Second, then all council members will receive a supplement of $1,000 per month and shall be reimbursed for expenses actually incurred in the performance of their duties, including any out-of-town expenses incurred for training that are approved by city council. That's what you want to do? Correct. Second by Mr. Taylor. You got a comment?
So they get paid for duties in town?
They get paid, yes,
I
yeah.
thought that's what the $1,000 was covering.
No. Plus
Out of
reimbursed
town.
for expenses for out of town.
Expenses,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
With,
Only, okay, yeah.
right now, they're required to submit receipts and all that kind of stuff anyway, correct?
For out of town.
Right.
But they don't get reimbursements just for going to meetings
Correct.
No,
here.
it says
Yeah.
including any out of town expenses.
Right.
Out expenses.
It's basically Mike Beatty's second paragraph, just the first paragraph, the first sentence is just, they get a $1,000 stipend plus.
Second paragraph.
Plus the
Yeah.
second.
Yes. All right, someone against this?
Sure. Regardless of what each of us sitting up here on this committee thinks that the council should receive, each of us had the opportunity to vote in the last election last November. And this is contrary to what the voters voted for. So I will not support this.
In favor? Mr. Holmes?
I'm in favor because this is the political way to kick the can down the road to the city council. Exactly what we've done.
Opposed?
I'm opposed to the dollar amount.
Okay. So would you like to make an amendment? You can change that dollar amount? and
Yeah, I'd like to make an amendment to 500
All right.
as proposed.
Colorelli has chosen to, has made a motion to modify the motion from $1,000 to 500, correct? Second? All right, then that fails for lack of second. Anyone else? All right, let's vote. All right, so it passes 4 yes, 3 no. I thought I was going to go no. All right, so that gets down to the last one that we were going to talk about. What we're going to talk about next is the red line, but we're going to take a 5-minute break first. So we're going to take a 5-minute break and come back and start on that. Okay? I'll let, all right. Meeting again. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the 4.1 at the top, and we're going to go down through, go ahead, it's the minutes from the June 3rd meeting, because that's the meeting that we deferred. And this will be the red line. And if we talk to Ms. Cobb or Ms. Barnes, if they change something, then they'll refer it to the red line. Okay? Everybody got that? You ready? All right, so we'll go to section 3.2, use of term officers. And note that officers need to be clarified. And was that in fact clarified?
Chair.
Yes, I didn't do it by a definition, but, oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Did not do it by defining it, just did it by revising the charter to make it clear what the difference was. So if you want me to point out the changes, just give me
No,
one
if they make
second.
those changes. This will be-
There's section 1 up at the top. There was supposed to be some
thanks,
research
thanks,
about the
thanks.
seal.
I missed
Yeah.
it. All right, the seal was trademarked, so did we,
I did some research. I did not find any evidence that had ever been trademarked.
thank you.
We checked state records, everything, and our records too.
So, and then Ms. Cobb said that the officers has been clarified.
Yeah.
I mean, so do we or should we recommend to trademark the seal? So it cannot be used out of whack like it has been in the past?
Selling t-shirts, whatever.
Mhm.
I don't know if that's in your purview as a charter review committee. You could come to the council and recommend it anyway.
Yeah, that might be something that we can come to the council and recommend instead of the charter review. I don't think you put it in the charter.
Okay.
Okay. Good for that? And officers has been clarified?
Yeah, if you look at the various sections, you can see that I deleted officers from various areas and just referred to elected officials and employees.
Okay. Good. All right, 2.5 is the next, which we've already voted on. The elected officials, remember? Okay. Couple pages over. Next one is 5.1. Correct language respects municipal election procedures. Section 5 will be deferred to next meeting with Ms. Cobb and Ms. Barnes providing red line versions with proposed changes. Has that been done? Do we want to go and take a look? Could you want to tell us what those changes were, please?
I'm sorry, which
Okay.
change did you just?
This is the correct language to reflect municipal election procedures, Section 5.
So that would be,
I know, now you're going through what I went through today.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to my red line.
All right, we got time.
Yeah, so section 5, so you all don't have the full red line?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're not finding section 5 in the red line, it's because the paragraph was deleted. And it's at the.
Oh, it's at the very
it's
bottom,
end
yeah.
of section 4, where the red underline stops. Section 5 is there. I don't know how the paragraph got deleted.
I can't find it on there, but I've got it.
It's on page 2,
Yeah, it's at the,
in the very first paragraph.
Oh, I see.
End
Yeah.
of it
So it
says
wasn't a
section
paragraph, it was just a space.
yeah.
5. Yes.
Oh, it just says little a next to it. I see, I gotcha.
Are we limited to what, the red line here, because I saw some other issues as I was reading this thing.
No, we're gonna get to what they said first, and then questions, and then if you want to change something, we can change it. Okay. All right, Ms. Cobb, so you see
So what we
section,
did here is we took out all the references to primary election or general election, right? So it will just say election. And that was in little 2 and little 3, subsection 2 and 3. And then in subsection 4, we clarified if fewer than 60 days remain before the next election, took out the word primary, to be held in the city of Fort Walton Beach. We clarified it was the next election in the city of Fort Walton Beach. You guys are seeing this, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure. And then in B, we again clarified city of Fort Walton Beach. Then when you go down to C, that's probably where we took out the most language. We just said, with regard to the vacancies, it would be consistent with state law. We took out some superfluous language, so it would basically read, whether or not the seat becoming vacant has been sworn into office, the appointment by a majority of the council shall be for a period extending only until the beginning of the first regular meeting after a successor is chosen by election consistently with state law, period. And then we said those candidates qualifying for that position shall run in a nonpartisan election, and the winner of that election shall fill the balance of the term of the seat in which the vacancy occurred. So any questions on those?
I don't, but I want to go back to Mr. Taylor for a second. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through all the yellow ones, and then once we're done with that, and if you've had other issues beyond that, then we're going to come back to that.
That's the
okay?
way I understood it. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Anybody have problems with what they've done there? All right. Now we're going to 7.4. Language consistency in sections 7 and 14 regarding mayor and council interfering. Ms. Cobb and Ms. Barnes will prepare the language to propose at the next meeting.
Do you want me to go through it?
Yep,
I mean, it's
absolutely.
self-explanatory. We just simply,
For section 14, we added the mayor so that it now says mayor and council to not interfere. And then you'll see that we redlined in the word mayor. So everything is equally applicable to the mayor and the council in section 14. So then when you go back to 7, there, we made the clarifications about nonpartisan elections, and this part doesn't really have anything to do with distinguishing between mayor and council because we fixed it in 14.
Okay. Everybody, all right? Well, I don't know why I keep looking at Mr. B, but I want to make sure. All right, next one is correct election and qualifications from council to supervise the election. First sentence, section 8, language needs to be modified to reflect that supervised election is responsible. Ms. Cox?
That's what we did. The last sentence now says, notwithstanding the foregoing, the supervisor of elections shall be the judge of the election and qualification of council members in accordance with the laws of the state of Florida.
All right, 8.3, define disorderly behavior and punish. I think we talked about it. Hey, I'm aware of that, believe me. All right, so I'm just hitting them while they go. 9.2, setting the standard for council, and we've already talked about that as well. So that's, just trying not to skip any yellow parts. And section 12 was the same one that we talked about with the chief page thing. All right. Section 14, council shall not interfere in appointments or removals, violation of misdemeanor. Ms. Kopp will check with the employee manual for possible conflicts with any other hiring practices.
that was good. We didn't need to make any other changes other than including the mayor, and this is another place
Where we deleted that word officers.
Okay, thank you. Let's see what we got here. 17
This is what we talked about earlier with respect to the ordinance versus resolution, and today you guys all decided we would do a resolution with one public advertised hearing. Then we have the second part, which we didn't talk about earlier, that we can talk about now if you want to. This, I think, was the area where Chief Beige came and spoke to you all. So we, you know where I'm at? Okay.
No. Yes, I do.
Okay, so the ending sentences of section 17 now say the city of Fort Walton Beach shall maintain municipal police and fire departments, which shall be autonomous of other law enforcement and fire departments. Notwithstanding the necessity of mutual aid agreements with other law enforcement agencies and fire agencies, absent a unanimous vote of the city council and majority vote of the public referendum held in accordance with the laws of the state of Florida, neither the police department or fire department shall be disbanded, discontinued, merged, contractually replaced, defunded, or otherwise significantly diminished beyond minimal capabilities of providing quality public safety services in the city of Fort Walton Beach. Additional functions and duties may be assigned by ordinance to the police and fire departments commensurate with their respective public safety disciplines.
Right. And that's also the paragraph that we made the change from resolution with a publicly notified meeting. Okay? Everybody all right with that? All right. Departments to be supervised by director.
Well, are we, would you
Did
say,
you
are we
want to-
all right with that? Are we
No, we can, yeah,
Are we
yeah.
voting on it, or are we?
No, we're just going through, I mean, these were things that she was gonna clear up,
Yep.
that we've asked to clear up, and they're in there. And if you don't, if you have a problem with that, let's hear it.
Okay, well,
And
I mean,
then
there was
section
never, there was
17?
never a second to this, and there was never a vote
Right.
on these items. They just appeared.
Which
I
one?
mean, we asked,
On the
we
police?
asked for,
Which
on
one?
17.
Okay,
On the police department, like,
Yes.
on the, yeah.
okay. Good point.
Okay.
Yeah, well, we asked her to fine tune and present proposed language. So is there a motion to approve this language?
Can I just bring something up?
Yeah, sure.
I noticed that it says, notwithstanding blah, 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 absent a unanimous vote of the council and majority vote. That used to be or, I believe.
Where you at, Michael? Which page? 12?
So 17, it's in that section we're reading at the end.
Yeah.
It says, it's, I don't know how to count up, hold on, 1, 2.
It just said
Third
notwithstanding.
sentence from the end.
Yeah. It starts with notwithstanding, but that used to be if it wasn't a unanimous vote of the council to disband either department, it would have to go to a referendum. Now it's saying it requires both, correct?
Yeah, it can say or, I think that was the language we had at the meeting, that we can, it probably should say or. That would be a pretty high standard to say
Yeah.
unanimous vote of council and a majority of the public at a referendum.
And that was changed with the last charter amendments back in 2014 or 15.
Okay, so help me out here. Point me in the right direction.
Okay, number 7, section 17, administrative departments.
Right.
Okay,
Okay.
counting down, it is the third sentence, starting with notwithstanding the necessity.
Hang on 1 second. Which paragraph? The bottom,
Section 17, administrative departments, 1 paragraph.
right?
So go down to the third
I
sentence.
got it, I found it. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Notwithstanding the necessity of mutual aid agreements, other,
Yeah, it says absent a unanimous vote of the city council and majority vote at a
Right.
public referendum, and it should say or.
all right, so that's a change. Oh, hang on 1 second. Hang on 1 second.
It says or in the current charter, I believe.
Okay. Go ahead, Mr. Tate.
I want to clarify that. It was intentional. Dan was intentional. Because if you're going to go to referendum, it's going to require a unanimous vote of the council to do it. And then I think people need to, if this is obviously a really important issue to me, I think people get the referendum and have to say so whether they're going to lose the police department or public safety service.
So what you're saying is it required a unanimous vote of the city council, and then it referred it to a referendum.
Correct.
Okay.
I know it was intentional, I'm just saying it's a high standard, and we
Is
put
that-
it in there because it was intentional.
Is
This
that
isn't-
lawful, though?
Is it?
Is that
Yeah,
lawful?
I mean, all it's
Because the
saying,
citizens can change, the citizens by 10% of them, petition can change the charter, can vote to go to referendum. Whether the council, we know that, we've been through that, whether the council votes, approves it or not.
That's why I think or. That's why or was put in there in the 2014, 2015 charter.
yeah, it's up
amendments.
to you all, if you want it to be or and.
All right, talk about it. Or in.
Well, I'm not gonna support this regardless, because I don't think it's, I don't think it's something that's, I think this is, like you said many times, this is stuff the council should be deciding on between the council and the city manager. It shouldn't be locked into the charter on how this stuff is done.
Okay.
We've already got it in there. In fact, the state legislature just passed a law, which the city attorney brought up at either the last meeting or one of the last hearings, to where in order to reduce the funding to the police, that if there's an objection from the police department, it has to go before an administrative review. I don't know if that's the state or who does the administrative review, but I mean, there's a process that the legislature has put in
Okay.
to cover this.
All right, so, anybody else? Go ahead.
Yeah, I read the first sentence, the city of Fort Walton Beach shall maintain municipal police and fire departments. I think it should be period. I don't understand why the rest of it's in there.
Okay. Go ahead.
Ms. Barnes, I think, in her submission brought up the fact that the statement in the current charter is insufficient because it leaves room for contracting these services, interpretations and things like that. That's why it was so specifically written this way, to make sure that there's no questions about it. And again, I'm going to repeat that a decision that's important goes beyond an unanimous approval of the council, in my opinion. I believe the public needs to have a say-so in this because and I am biased. I worked for the police department for 36 years, but I live in the city as well. I know the difference between response times. I know the difference between protections and things like that. I think contractual law enforcement do good things, but I don't think it would go well here. And I've seen them do pretty bad things. But on that note, the way that I constructed it when I wrote it is to make sure there's no loopholes in there. That if the council collectively decides that they want to look at doing away with the police and fire departments, fine, send it to referendum. If the people want it, then you go from there.
But
hang on,
Point, if you put in the or, you're taking away the petition, the ability to petition.
if you put or,
If you put and.
if you put
Don't
and.
put or.
And it doesn't require unanimous vote to go to do a referendum
right,
either. So, that was, when we did this in 2014, 2015, only one of the departments was included. The second department was added, and then the threshold of a unanimous vote or referendum was added.
so you say one department, was that the police department?
I can't remember which
The
one was
fire
added.
department, it was
Yeah, I think-
originally police and the
Yeah, it
fire.
was originally
was-
police only in there,
And
then fire was
fire.
added in 2014, 15, and then the threshold requirement for a unanimous vote or referendum was added as well. I think a unanimous and referendum, that's impossible. I mean, pretty much.
So
What were you saying about
basically,
it was eliminating the language and.
Hang on, Tony. One at a time. Mike?
so basically if you leave or in there, if you put 7 councilmen in here that want to do away with the police department, they can do it.
Ms. Barnes, you had something you want to say? He's done.
Yeah, I'm not gonna give my opinion.
He can come back.
Thank you.
And the only reason I brought it up was when we were going through it to see if anything needed clarification or so forth. I simply asked the question, based on conversations that have been held in this council chamber from some council members who wanted to contract out the police department possibly and or merge with another department. And that's the only reason I brought it up, is to say, would this apply if those two things were to take place? If that was to be presented as an option, so.
Okay,
I
Tony?
didn't have a preference, that was just a question. That's-
Right.
Whether she brought it up or not, I was going to address the issue with it because I've been through it too many times. The destructive of just the talk of this, the destruction within the agency and in the community. If you remember last time it was tried before anything I think was put in the charter, I mean, the whole community organized against it. And it took a while for it to be put to bed. And so, again, I know the bar is high. I don't think it's impossible, but I know the bar is high. And that's the reason I wanted to set the bar high. If the language, if there's some restrictions that by using the word and not or, I mean, can you explain that?
Yeah, I think it runs afoul of 166.031 on charter amendments because that statute gives the electors the ability to petition by 10% of the registered electors a referendum election to amend the charter.
What if we just kept it as public referendum? I mean, removed the vote of the council?
That works.
Yeah, but the council's gonna have to be involved in it at some point.
Right, they'll have a majority vote to put it on a ballot, but,
Four votes.
but if 4 of them vote to disband police or fire, it automatically goes to a referendum that way. And then the public gets to decide.
But then the damage is done. You've already got the,
You're right.
Oh,
You're
yeah,
right.
again.
Believe me, we've been through this. Tony's been through it
I've
more than
worked
I
through this
have.
thing
but-
several times,
Yeah.
okay, and it's, you're on pins and needles, you grow ulcers and everything else, wondering, about what's gonna happen, and not just as a member of the department, but as a member of the community.
Yeah.
I got nothing bad to say about the sheriff's department, but I like my police department.
Yep.
it,
And the other thing too, what you mentioned with the police department, it makes it, the policemen want to go someplace else.
Well, the fire
Exactly.
department's experiencing it now, or they were.
They were. Yep. Police is still, they're letting people short.
And why, and we have an opportunity, in my opinion, at this point, to end that conversation.
if we leave it as and, if somebody wants to challenge it legally, then let them do it.
Well, I mean, the bottom line is if we want to leave it at and, we might as well use Steve's language.
That's true.
All right, guys, we've all talked, where we at?
I don't think we should put something in here that doesn't comply with state law
I agree.
just because we can and see if you get sued. I mean, the
So-
citizens have a right to petition regardless. We've
You're-
been through that, we know that.
What if you leave the and say, to the extent allowed by state law, meaning that's required unless you get a petition? And that way, it doesn't stop the statutorily allowed process of the citizen petition. That's just a thought to try to
I
help.
can live with that. I mean, again, even if it is challenged, I'm not in favor
I
of
It
would-
means
I
the
would-
council
challenge.
can't get
I
it.
would prefer by referendum,
Yeah,
and let the council vote it would by referendum. The
that's the
citizens,
cleanest, but.
Yeah.
That's why the or was in there originally,
Yep.
knowing that you're more than likely not going to get a unanimous vote to disband those departments. Then it would automatically go to referendum.
All right, where we at? Then after,
Do you need a motion?
we need a motion to do something, to move on.
I will make a motion as presented as or. So you need to,
So your motion is to accept the language on there, except where it says and you put or. Does that meet state statute?
Yes.
I'd like to amend the motion.
All right, wait, and you can't amend it until we get a second.
Oh, okay.
I'll second that.
All right, so Mr. Holmes has made the motion to keep this language, except where it says and a public referendum, to substitute or a public referendum.
I'd like to amend the motion to include the language that she just said about the state statute. Can you repeat that?
I think I just said to the extent permitted by state law.
To the extent of state law.
can I second that?
Yes.
I'll second that.
All right, real quick, not to belabor the point, so the amendment is to extend by state law after public referendum, all right? Mr. Taylor made the motion, Mr. Holmes seconded. Let's see if we're gonna amend it.
Are you lost?
This is on the amendment, right?
This is only on the amendment.
And this still keeps or in there, right?
Yes.
This is, yeah. This is just to add that language about state law.
Which one are you voting on now?
The amendment.
The amendment.
So
The amendment.
Okay.
I made the amendment
Tony
and
was
now,
the-
So Tony,
yeah.
Tony was the,
I'm sorry.
that's okay, I think I can take it off.
come on, Holmes.
Well, I was being entertained by the crowd. Yes, you just.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch, the Lone
Sorry, I'm
Ranger.
trying. You reset the vote then.
Oh my God, we'd hate for have to vote by hand. Oh,
Oh,
motion not carried. Try again.
So this is with or and in accordance with state law.
Hold on.
right?
Oh,
Wait.
yes.
It-
Oh, well, no, we're just doing the amendment right now
To
to the
extend by
accordance with
state law. To extend by state law.
Gotcha.
Now,
Okay, you move.
now.
Got it.
Now, Tony, second. And there we go. All right, so the main amendment now states, that we're going to accept this language as presented, and accept the word and, is that what we're at, or?
We're gonna go
Or a public referendum to extend by state law,
To the
To the
extent
extent.
allowed by state law.
to the extent allowed by state law.
Correct.
All right,
Yeah, that's my motion.
Yeah.
your motion, who's second?
Mine equals second.
Yep.
Yes, I did.
Technology's great, isn't it? We need AI.
So now this one is Holmes and Beatty?
Yes.
There we go.
I moved.
You moved.
Second.
5-2. All right, moving right along. 18. Michael, talk about that. Because it was your part on the bottom there, on 18, it's on page 13, page 13. You got it right there on the bottom of the page.
Yeah, I see it. I gotta go back to my original. I think that was just part of the whole original, like officer thing and,
Okay,
you know, make.
so there's no real action required here? All right.
We did talk a little bit about moving some of the sections around.
Yeah,
But when I started doing amendments and getting it all back together, might be easier to keep the sections as they are until we get them all clean.
Yeah.
And then if we need to move them.
I agree with that.
Okay, just.
because there was some in the finance section that probably didn't need to be there.
Right.
Yeah, so,
Right.
yeah, I agree with that. When we get a clean version, we can,
All right, 20.3, which is on page 14, 15. State's compensation of charter officer shall be set by resolution. As Barnes stated, past 2 years, city manager, city clerk will receive the same increase as general employees. City attorney requests an increase in their hourly rate. How did that even come around? Consensus from the committee was from Ms. Kopp and Ms. Barnes, proposed language that can coincide with the current policies and increases to charter officers. And that is, hello, everybody.
Yeah, you're talking about section,
20.3.
okay.
But it's section 20, it's just because we're
Yeah.
talking about.
Thank you.
Four different.
Okay, so that we've deleted most of the language, so it's down to one sentence, and it now says, the officers of the city are the city manager, city clerk, and city attorney. The city council shall appoint the officers of the city and shall determine their compensation. Period.
that works for me.
Simplicity.
Nice and easy. I
All right, do we need a motion on that, or is everybody all right with that?
think we should,
Go for it, make the motion.
I make the motion to accept the recommendation of the city attorney for section 20.
I'll second.
All right, section 20, Mr. Beatty's made the motion to accept as written.
Yes.
All right, and Mr. Holmes has seconded. And Mr. Beatty, your motion? You good for it?
I'm good.
Okay, anybody opposed? Okay, let's vote. All righty, let's see what's next. 23. oath of office.
So here we just deleted officer and replaced it with elected official.
Okay. Cool. Any problem? There's no need for, we need a motion on that, or everybody's all right with it? All right, now, that concludes all of the ones that we had yellow lined. So now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back through, and if there's anything that you found while you're reviewing this that you want to bring up, in addition to those things we discussed, we'll do it one at a time. And Mr. Taylor, you go ahead. Tell us where you're going.
Section 5A1.
All right, will you give us a chance?
And I have a legal question first, and a little bit of commentary on it.
The disappearing section 5, right?
Right. 5A1.
Dealing with vacancies, right?
Right, dealing with vacancies. And it basically says if somebody that gets elected and can't fulfill the office at the time before they get sworn in, then the council will appoint a new person. How long does that process take? A month or longer? Yeah.
Yes.
Is there any, question to you, Ms. Knopp, is there anything that would preclude them from just, if that particular case happened, just going to the next person in the election?
No, they could do that if they want to.
The council can do that.
Huh?
The council can, so we ran into that.
Okay.
But it was not the exact same. But that was a recommendation when someone, wasn't because they didn't take the office, but they had to vacate the office. And the council, it was a recommendation to take the next person. But they can nominate whoever they want to. So if it doesn't have to be the next person. The council then can select whoever they want. What do you got?
What I got is it seems to me you would solve a lot of time with new council, especially on the four council election year. They got a lot of fish to fry. They don't need to take too much to try and take nominations and picks. Just go to the next person in the election.
So I think that's what you're going to talk about. Let me just summarize here. And this only applies to if someone's elected and can't take office.
Exactly, before swearing in.
So your point is that they go to the next person, the next highest vote, which would work because now it's all by.
And then it takes it out of the council. It would have put it back into people's hands as
Right.
part of the election. I had that actually in my notes.
Okay.
But just pointing out, you might be thinking of a situation where you have multiple candidates. Think about the situation where there's only two. They could be completely worlds apart. The second person might have 0 votes, for all we know. And you're saying that person's automatically going to be on council. Just think about that.
Now, it's not two because the way we do the elections. Because you vote, you have 4
Well, I see
vacancies.
what you're saying, but my point is if there's only one option.
Right.
If there's only,
Santa Claus.
Go ahead.
yeah.
Go ahead.
It's still the same point. If there's a person that received 0 votes, they could be immediately put on the council. I know that's extreme, but my point is, it's not necessarily somebody that the public has voted for.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
And now you've taken away the council's discretion too, so you don't really know who you're putting up there, hopefully.
Right. And I can think of a couple people right up.
And that's never happened, but it could.
It could.
Well, I mean,
Minimum
Take,
percentage.
for instance, the mayor this last time, if something happened, he couldn't take office, nobody ran against him, so you wouldn't even have a process.
I got it.
But you could word this section to say something like if there is an eligible candidate or something, the next highest vote getter gets the seat automatically, or if there's not, then council can appoint.
Yeah, I just don't think that solves the situation if a qualified candidate would automatically get that seat, and you just might not, you just don't know who that, I'm just thinking of certain situations in other places where there was a person that you would not expect to be in that seat.
You could have
that
4
never got
qualified
very many
candidates and one
votes.
nobody wanted.
Yeah.
How about,
Which may happen.
But they put in the effort to run. They put in the effort to run.
Yeah.
They did. I hear what you're saying, Michael. I think that, and I understand what you're saying too, Tony. It's about, putting it on council's, but honestly, it takes a lot of, council, they got a lot going on, there's no doubt about it, but there's not gonna be any more than half of them that are brand new. So, they can adopt, it could be pretty obvious. But again, like we've seen here in the past, they could just pick their buddy or something like that, so,
The only other thing would be to force a special election.
nah, I don't wanna do that. Special election, at the
No,
beginning of 4
I agree,
years.
but that's what I'm saying.
That's what Tony and I are saying. You're coming off an election.
Yeah.
Right.
That, you may have the off chance that there's no other candidate or, whatever, but.
well, at that point, it would
Then-
revert to
yeah.
the council would then go into the process to pick a council member.
All right, so let's, everybody have a little let's go ahead and see if we got a motion here. Did you want to talk first?
No, what is the motion?
Yeah, we don't have one yet. That's what happens when you get rid of Robert's rules. You just don't pay attention till later.
Are we still under no wrong?
Okay, so question.
No,
Didn't we make it to where
No, we didn't.
there's not April 1st swearing in now, it's just the first meeting in April?
correct.
Yes.
Okay. And they do that at the beginning of the meeting, the new council is seated at the beginning of the meeting?
Right.
Okay. I move that language be constructed and insert appropriately for the next draft to delete relative portions of this section and to establish that should an elected council member resign or otherwise be unable to assume the elected position prior to his or her swearing in, that the seat automatically reverts to the candidate in that race who received the next highest votes
Hold on.
upon the approval of the council.
Okay, in the first place, we've already talked about if someone resigns, that's a different deal.
Well, no,
Are you talking about
before they get
resigns
sworn in.
Before they get sworn in?
Before they get sworn in.
Resign if he's sworn in.
If they're unable to assume the elected position prior to their swearing in. Here you go, Mike.
Okay, let's take a look.
And the only thing I added in there was to have the approval of the council at that meeting.
All right, so basically, your recommendation is to kick it down because it says you recommend that language be constructed. Who's going to do that?
I can do it, or we can just go with what I got there.
Well,
Let's see,
hang on, let me look.
they gave me my copy.
But basically, your motion is to make this an automatic next highest.
Next person, upon approval of the council. And if you do have that one instance where somebody got 0 or 1 votes, the council could step in at that point and initiate their regular procedures to select a
Okay,
member.
so basically what I'm reading is that, correct me if I'm wrong, it says a person elected not to be sworn, the office would only be sworn in, that seat automatically reverts to the candidate in that race who received the next highest votes, period. Right?
Upon the approval of the council.
Upon
the
approval of the
elected
council. All right, is there a second? You guys want me to read it again? No. Second? No, second?
I'll second it because I'm going to make an amendment.
Okay. So the motion is, if a person elected has not been sworn into office, the office shall not be filled until that person would ordinarily have been sworn in. The council taking the seat at the time that person would have been sworn in shall determine the successor by the seat automatically reverts to the candidate in that race who received the next highest votes upon approval of the council. That's your motion?
That's my motion.
That's the one you seconded? All right. You've already talked. Anybody against this amendment?
Yeah.
Go for it.
I move to amend the original motion to add, if there is no qualified candidate, then the council would initiate
Will determine? Yeah.
Well, they have to be qualified to run by the, you mean qualified by the supervisor of election?
No, if there's no candidate.
If there's no other
meeting,
candidate?
Yeah.
All right, okay, so let me get this right. If,
So the council could pick somebody that lived in Shalimar?
God, shut up, Holmes.
Well, I'm just,
They can't pick somebody shallow. Qualified candidate exists.
Then council would initiate their appointment process.
Then council will select. Okay. Let me just get it down.
Initiate the appointment process.
Yeah.
Would probably be
It'd be
correct.
the appointment.
Say it.
Then council would initiate the appointment process.
Nice.
Which would be nominations and then
Well,
pick.
the candidate process or council?
Initiate the appointment process
Okay, got it. I can't
to
write
fill the
that fast.
vacancy.
I got
We'll
it.
clean that one up too.
Oh, we'll get it all done. Okay, so the amendment is that at the end, it says if no qualified candidates exist, the council will initiate the appointment process. Okay? A second?
second.
Mr. Holmes, second. Mr. Beatty. Anybody else want to talk about that? All right, this is the amendment. All right. So now we're back to the original, which is plus the amendment. We'll say by the seat automatically reverts to the candidate in the race who received the next highest votes upon approval of the council, period. If no qualified candidates exist, the council will initiate the appointment process. That's the main motion now.
Well, does it need to be if no qualified candidates exist or if the council doesn't approve?
I mean, that would make more sense. Yeah.
All right, so,
Could there be a lawsuit if the council's not approving the person who came in second? Could there be an issue?
No.
there? And they appoint somebody?
I mean, all right, yeah, we've seen it. Qualified candidate. So we're gonna do a real quick amendment. Everybody nod your heads if you agree with Ms. Cox said, and then we'll let it go at that. Okay. So now it says the council, approval of the council, no qualified candidates exist. Or if the council disapproves, the council will initiate the appointment process. What now? No.
Saying anything.
Is that what you said? I know.
Thinking, just following.
Yeah, I'm trying to do the same and read my handwriting
Because I
within the
kind of
words.
feel like we're saying the same thing we already had, it's
Kinda.
just in more words. but-
I know,
Because we're not automatically doing anything, it's still a council,
I know.
but
All right, let's vote. All right, who voted no? Oh, I should have known. All right, so Mr. Taylor, try to keep these a little shorter, would you? What's the next
I
one?
can go to the next one if you want. I got
Yeah.
3 or 4.
Michael, do you have anything before that, or?
Yeah, we just-
All right, go ahead, next one.
Okay, section 18. We have, what, 3 city managers in the room? This section allows you to basically take command of one of your departments. I don't, it's just me speaking, I don't know if you've ever done it or not. I don't think you want to take over a police or a fire department. What would you do? What would you know? Not saying anything to offend or anything like that, but
Just make your point.
also, do city managers meet the statutory qualifications to be a police chief or to run a law enforcement agency or anything like at that level?
Where are you at?
He's at 18.
18.
City manager may act as a director of any one departments. The council should so provide by resolution.
Yeah, I just look at it as the police chief, more of the budget, that sort of thing.
And that's my point. That would be my point. Should it be reworded to tell the city manager to appoint somebody, either at an interim or acting basis in that
So we
position?
have a deputy or whatever his title is here, but we got the chief of sorts already, so
Right.
that wheel's already in place, I think.
Yeah, I don't think,
Okay. You don't think we need to tweak it?
I don't think we need the last one either. What's the next one?
Section 23, oath of office. This is about the statute. I spoke briefly with the cop during the break. The Florida statutes require all city employees to take an oath, not just elected officials. So if I need to make a motion, I would move that we amend Section 23 to include all city employees to take an oath to the Constitution, the United States, and the Constitution of the State of Florida.
So,
It's been there a while.
so you want to amend what's there, make a motion so that it states every city, every elected official and city employee.
And city employee
Okay?
must
Wanna
take
kick
the
it
oath as
around? What you
required by
got?
Florida statute.
By Florida statute. Is that correct, Ms. Scott? By
Why
Florida?
don't we just take it out? It's already required by state law, and the statute provides the exact language that they have to swear to and how.
So basically, you're recommending that we just drop section 20.
I am, just because it's redundant,
No,
not
I get
because
it. I
we're
mean,
not
if
gonna do
it's
it.
already by state statute, we don't need it.
I'll make that motion, drop 23.
All right, second. All right. Mr. Taylor has made the motion to remove section 23, seconded by Mr. Beatty. Mr. Taylor, you already spoke to it. You want to speak anymore? Anybody opposed? Okay. Anybody want to speak for again? Nope. Let's vote. Get it ready.
Tony, you're up.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Come on, Tony, we're not,
There we go.
gotta vote first.
I know you went out.
All right, what's next?
Quick, next, section 18.
Man, you jumped in.
Oh, I think we just did section 18.
Then 23.
Did 23. Okay.
Which one?
Here's something that I'm not going to make a motion on,
What are we looking
but
at?
section 34, special assessment.
Hang on. Everybody get there first.
No,
I must have read that thing 100 times.
I don't think it's in that section. That was in the next meeting. Are we jumping ahead to this next meeting?
Okay, no, section 34 was one that we had no motion. So we didn't take any action because there was no motion.
I'm reading this thing over and over again. I picked up on something.
Where were you when we voted? I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Section 34, as written to me, says nothing. It says, if you're going to do a special assessment, the city manager does a petition, gives it to the council. That's it. That's all I got out of it.
It actually restates statute for a special assessment for infrastructure improvements.
I don't want to make a motion on this, but can
Wait a
I?
minute. It restates 4A?
34.
34 restates 4A?
It's pretty much the same, similar language to what's in statute for, or similar requirements to what's in statutes for infrastructure or special assessments for infrastructure improvements.
Which is state statute?
I couldn't quote which one, but I've read it.
177 maybe?
Well, my
Wait a minute, wait.
Okay.
Hang on, bud. We'll be right there.
Because that requires to go to the property owners and not the electorate.
Right.
So like one community wants to get off sewers, one community's gonna get the special assessment, that's fine.
Or roadway or stormwater.
So what's the question we're looking at? If it's this-
To me, it doesn't, the charter doesn't say anything. It says that there'll be a petition. The city manager does a petition to the property owners that'll be affected, presents it to the council. Doesn't have any time limitations in it, doesn't say what the council can or can't do with the petitions. Is it just, information or intelligence, or what is it?
It says before a special assessment can be levied, that
Right.
they have to get the signatures of the majority of the folks that would be assessed.
And I agree with that, but what they gonna do with them after that? What does it say after that in section 34?
Well, if they don't get them, they can't levy the assessment. If they get them, they can levy the assessment.
And I've said all along, fire fees don't apply to this because they're not ad valorem, they're not special assessments. So, just saying that too.
Yeah.
And that was the only reason why this was put in there.
Right, I'm aware of that. My whole problem with section 34, it doesn't go to the people that live here, it goes to property owners. And if property owners are not the people who live here, they don't have the same type of interest in the city as someone that lives here. That was my problem with this all along. I don't have a problem with special assessments going to referendum. Property owners, we all know why it's here.
I'd like to just submit to city attorney some language that I have written up, let her do what she feels necessary with it, or nothing.
Okay.
Okay?
Go ahead.
And maybe for the next meeting.
Next meeting.
I'll give you a clean copy.
So what's the general,
All right, so what we need is.
To put some kind of
Just throw it out.
what happens with it? I mean, what is thrown out?
we have state law that gives you the process, right? That's in 170, chapter
Okay.
170. And the difference is, this is saying before you get to that process, it's not taking away that process. That process is required, but only if you get this petition in place first.
Okay,
All right,
but
we have,
I didn't get that reading it.
Just, Mr. Holmes, do you want to say something?
Go ahead.
No, go right ahead.
Have you made a motion? Or?
No, there's no motion. I just wanted to submit some language to the attorney. And like I said, that particular section of the, and we can just, I'm concerned, get deleted if there's a statute.
I'll
that
entertain
covers
a
it.
motion to throw it out.
Entertain, you want to make a motion? Make
Okay.
a motion. You're not going to entertain anything.
Okay, I'll make a motion and entertain comments.
So your motion is?
To repeal section, or amendment
33, to eliminate section 33?
34.
Or 34, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the screen.
But it's covered by statute in more detail about how to.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You can look at 170, chapter 170.
I'll trust you. But like I said, in the charter, it didn't say anything to me.
Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
You second
I
to
second
to repeal
Yeah.
item 34? All right, Mr. Holmes, your motion.
I agree. There's state statutes that govern that as the way you can implement it in all of what it can be used for. It was put in there as the watch group to try to limit or as
It
to
was
what
voted on by, it was put
Voted
out to
on,
referendum. Right.
And personally, the way I read it, and it was misinterpreted, and actually it was not written as to what was presented to the voters on the petition.
Someone opposed?
Yeah, I'm opposed. I think this is what the state law says under 170. What the city proposed doing previously was not using 170 and using 166, the home rule statute, to get around the requirements of Florida Statute 170.
Okay. So I have a question, if you don't mind. Were you finished?
Yes.
Okay. So basic, Ms. Coppin, I hear you saying that state statute 170 covers this?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Anybody speak for this motion? I'll speak for this motion. If it's already covered, we don't need it. That's my opinion. Anybody else opposed? All right.
Let me clarify. Can I clarify?
Yeah, hang on one second. Let's see if anybody else wants to speak, and then you go a second time. Anybody else? All right, go ahead.
Okay. what this did was require the city to do it, to use 170 and not use 166. And it was very clear, the city attorney, I mean, we've got him on video saying that we're not using 170. We're doing a special assessment under 166. So what this does is requires it to be done per the rules of 170 and not under 166.
Okay, so but at that time, as I understand it, he was wrong.
No, you can still do a special assessment. I mean, that's what the attorney says. No, you can do it. I mean, the legal opinion was you could do it under 166.
Okay.
Which is just home rule.
The home rule gives you very broad powers. That's what he was saying. He says under home rule, we have broad powers to do whatever we want, rather than having to follow 170.
Okay. Anybody else, one way or the other? All right, so Mr. Holmes made the motion to eliminate section 34, seconded by Mr. Taylor. Let's vote.
This will be interesting.
Abstain.
Oh, I haven't read 166 or 170, so I don't.
You gotta vote, dude. You gotta vote. You can't abstain. The only time you abstain is when you get some sort of nice try.
Well, his vote is non-determinative because even if he votes no, it's passing, so.
Nice. Yeah, well,
But-
that's why I told you you gotta run for city council. You learn about that stuff.
He'll be your campaign director.
So what are you gonna do? No or yes?
Yeah. You still have to vote.
I'll vote no.
All right, so passes 4-3. Mr. Taylor, what, is that it?
That's it.
All right, Mr. Beatty?
I don't have anything else.
All right, so now we talk about the next meeting. So the next meeting, do we have anything we've carried forward? Ms. Cobb? How many?
We have several. There's several.
Several we've carried forward?
Yeah, we had section 9, 17, well, and plus the changes that you've made you probably want to see again. Plus, I was going to put together a little summary. For example, council's going to get a red line where the oath is removed. Well, we should probably explain, we're not saying don't take an oath, we're saying it's covered by statute. Just little
Right, but
summaries.
that's
I was
not-
going to give that to you all to look at to make sure you agree with the reasoning, and then,
Okay, all right, so it's more of a language thing. All right.
right?
The next scheduled meeting is,
September 2nd.
would anybody, and how long would it take you to make these changes if we wanted to move it sooner? Oh, I hate that facial expression.
We've got
But
lots of council meetings and budget meetings.
I know you do. I know August is a busy month,
Yeah,
no
this
doubt.
month.
Anybody all right with September 2nd? At?
2 o'clock.
What's the day of the week?
All right.
Is that the part?
Saturday, Tuesday.
So
It's the
for-
first
Day after
Tuesday
Labor
that
Day,
we
yeah.
kind of started.
Oh, great. I'll be out of town. No. Meeting's adjourned. So I get another big old pile of paper like this?
Well, tag that
Either one of those.
It's a good try.
I'm not.
You could go any meeting like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's good just to be there. Whatever. It's a shame you can't do what everybody else is doing.
There ain't no way.
Yeah.
You know, and the thing is, I know. I don't know why,
I thought Michael would
no, I get it, I understand.
reveal it.
Yeah.
But, you know, folks vote.
She got this.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it doesn't say anything, so.
You're right. Yeah, it's just clutter up the chart.
Yes, 66 gives us the authority to legislate.
That's right.
No, you got, I go in unexpected.
That was legally opined.
I know.
Conference
You're-
room.
We actually
Thanks, Dominic, good work.
I knew